we got a lot of intros. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't have them all on one, so I'm hurrying up to like click them real quick and go between them before it cuts away, and it just
One,
sees us
two,
looking all
three.
stupid. You know, you picking your nose and me just blankly staring at the screen.
I wasn't picking my nose.
No.
Hey, everyone.
We got a bunch of people
Wow,
here.
thanks for joining us. We've got an awesome interview tonight. Hey, Faye, Sandra, Sarah, Nays is here.
Nasty. All right.
Yeah. Rob,
All right.
or just the Get Haunted Network. I shouldn't dox, right? Hey, Mike.
So, episode 2. I can't believe
Yeah.
we made it through episode 1. I thought we were getting canceled.
Oh yeah, me too. Well, the rotten apples game. I think that may have been what canceled us, but hopefully our guests that are coming up with us tonight haven't seen that. So they were like, "Sure, we'll come on your show."
Yeah, we don't know what we're walking into.
We don't know what we're walking into. No, I'm really, really excited for tonight. You guys have already heard a lot about Get Haunted, which is an amazing paranormal network, an event company run by Rob and Sarah, the owners of Get Haunted, that we had on for our first episode of Behind the Veil. And tonight we have some dear friends and fellow crew members from Get Haunted, Dani, Marie, and Kyle Mangus.
Great job, Boston.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. How do you say it?
You did, Mangus.
Mangus.
She has been
right.
practicing for. That's why we canceled last week. She was so nervous about getting the name wrong, and I was like, "You got to know it."
Well, great job.
Yeah.
You
Thank you. I spent a whole week practicing that. So, Dani Marie, very easy name, but Kyle, I don't know if it's Mangus, like
Okay,
Mangus.
You did it once, and now you're.
Now it's not funny.
Yes.
Okay. Noted. I do that a lot. But as I was saying, these are some very important VIP people over at Get Haunted. Kyle is the field manager, basically in charge of, scheduling, the logistics around that with Get Haunted. And Dani here is, well, we wouldn't be a part of Get Haunted without Dani.
No.
She is the recruitment manager for Get Haunted, and the onboarding specialist, which I haven't honestly heard that term before, but I think it means like helping people through the process when they become part of Get Haunted, getting on board.
Getting them through orientation, getting them trained, helping them figure out everything that they need to know, getting their questions answered, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
She's the one to blame when Get Haunted gets the complaints for letting us two be involved with April 22nd.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, if anything goes wrong, that's your girl right there.
Call me. It's always Dani's fault. So
Kyle is also, both of them are obviously paranormal investigators with years of experience under their belt. Kyle is also the vice president of the Friends of White Hill Mansion. Oh my gosh, where's that located? I know it's in New Jersey. What's the town again?
Fieldsboro,
in Fieldsboro, New Jersey. It's an amazing property and location. I can't wait to get myself there very soon, hopefully. And basically, we're going to ask you some more questions about that after we do our fun little icebreaker round. But basically, it's all about preservation.
Yes. Yep.
And that's huge. You're also a bit of a history buff, which I love. I think I've noticed a lot of people in this field are really into history and start getting very into the importance of preserving these properties. And it's heartbreaking when you see them being torn down and made into apartments. And
yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking. So it's not just about, looking for ghosts. and and looking for evidence that there's something on the other side. But I think it's become a passion for a lot of us to make sure that these places are around for generations in the future, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said, Boston.
Thank you. That was all off the top of my head. I didn't have a script or anything. All right. So,
Is it time
we can
for
do it?
fire questions?
we're going to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
Here we go.
first, I want to lay some ground rules because I have Sarah reporting me to YouTube about this discrepancy in the scores. We had people go back and fact check and see that Sarah lost by 40 points.
No.
There was a
Yeah,
recount.
that seems fair.
Yeah.
No.
So Boston, when you do this, no shady stuff on Kyle. He's already nervous.
Let's be honest about it, okay?
Okay. Well, this time I corrected my mistake from last time and I numbered all of the questions. So we'll be, unless this one goes right, because it's a shared doc, so unless he tampers with it, but I will look over it with a fine-tooth comb afterwards. Before we start this, I just want to say that not all of these questions came from this brain. That's right. We have a viewer here and a very dear friend of mine, Nace T. You might have seen her in the comments. Nasty, yeah. And I said, you know what? It's hard because we're gonna do this. We hope to do this for all of our interviews. And you have to come up with at least 30 questions in case you guys are really, really fast.
30
And it's
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
Sarah
gonna be
got
like,
through
you will get through 30
I'm
questions.
like, what?
Sarah got through 5, and Rob did all.
No, she did really good. No. So she came up with some very, very deep, thought-provoking questions. So some of these are going to be from her. And with that said, what is our email address again? Is it Haunted Toll Booth?
Yep.
Okay. With that said, for anyone watching, we would love your help. If you can email us any deep, thought-provoking questions that you might want us to ask for episode 3, episode 4 of Behind the Veil. It's always going to be a mystery who we are interviewing until right before the show. But if you have some deep questions that you need answered, please email us at hauntedtollbooth@gmail.com. Haunted toll booth, like on highways.
Yeah, people get it.
No.
I get it.
Okay. All right. So who's going first? Do you want to go first or should I?
You ask questions first. You got
Okay.
this down.
Okay. All right. So Kyle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me just pull up my document here.
I hope I can mentally do this.
You got this, man.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Good now. That's all I needed.
All right. All right, Chris.
Yep. 2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes.
All right, and go.
All right, fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is...
A singer.
Where is the worst place that you could get trapped?
A closet.
Favorite piece of paranormal equipment?
REM pod.
Would you let me slap you for $100?
Yes.
Sweet. If you were a fruit, what would you be?
Peach.
Which holiday would you erase altogether from our calendars if given the opportunity?
Easter.
Good answer. Do you think other life forms exist in the solar system?
Yes.
If a theme song played every time you entered a room, what would it be?
The John Cena theme song.
Good one. If you could be any bird, what would you be and why?
An ostrich. Because it resembles me.
Okay. This is a very important one. Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Good answer. The worst way to die?
Get squished.
How do you feel about wombats?
They're great.
If you woke up and you could walk through walls, what's the first thing you'd do?
Walk into a bank.
What noise does a dolphin make?
No, God. Oh.
Come on.
It's for the guys team.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. What does the Gen Z term bet mean? Example, bet.
I have no idea. I'm a millennial.
It means yes or okay. If you were abducted by aliens, what is the one question you would ask them?
Why?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
20.
Who has a better sense of humor, living people or dead people?
Dead people.
What color is your soul?
Green.
What would the title of your memoir be?
Oh, as the wheel turns.
Toilet paper, under or over?
Under.
And time.
Wow.
Did you say under?
I did.
Bro.
It's the first thing that came to mind.
All right, so
I mean, this is
we
really
got
telling about
21.
people. Under or over.
We got 21, but because you didn't make the dolphin noise, technically you got 20.
Okay.
Will you take that, Chris?
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean,
Okay.
Danny, you only have to get 21 now. This should be easy for you. Do this for the girls team.
Pressure, man. We got this.
It
All
was
right.
a lot of pressure.
All right, hold on. Let me get
Okay.
2 minutes. Okay. Tell me
You
when to
ready?
start.
You
Yeah.
can tell. All right. Am I good to go?
Go.
26,500,000 divided by 2.
I have no clue.
Fill in the blank. Kanye West is blank.
Stupid.
What is your spirit animal?
Seagull.
Of the 7 dwarfs, which one is the best?
Dopey? That's one, right? Dopey. Dopey.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sad will you be when the girls lose girls versus boys?
11.
What would you want to live forever? Or would you want to live forever?
Yes.
Which celebrity do you identify the most with?
Taylor Swift. I have no idea.
Make a high-pitched noise. Giving presents or getting presents?
Giving.
Do you like the smell of gasoline?
I do.
Ask permission or beg for forgiveness?
I'll beg for forgiveness.
If toilet paper roll is really low but not completely out, do you replace it or leave it for someone else?
Replace it and then put the little roll on top of the big roll.
Climb on a mountain or jump off a plane?
Jump off a plane.
If you had to choose to live without one of your 5 senses, which one would you give up?
Smell?
Would you willing adopt a lactose intolerant ghost child?
Yes.
If you had the ability to astral travel to the same location every night in your dreams, where would you go?
Bermuda.
If not blue, what color do you think the sky should be?
Black.
What does Gen Z term cap mean? Example, no cap.
I have no clue.
Damn.
No cap. Cap means lie. So
So,
if someone's saying like
How does that mean? How?
no cap, like I really love Kyle's hat. No cap. Right? All right, let me do some math
Oh,
here
I'm
because
so
Chris
lost.
can
I know it's
conveniently made up a few questions of his own.
They were great. They were great questions, Chris. Great questions.
He made
So
up his own questions?
we got to 16.
I added 2.
So Danny got 18.
Oh, that's all I got?
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
You probably would have gotten more if Chris didn't
Boy,
make up his own questions.
Chris. Come on, man.
So congratulations, Kyle.
All right, Kyle, big win, guys.
Oh, Heather knew no cap. See?
Thank you for the support.
Heather,
I
I
couldn't have did
need
it
your
without
number.
you.
I need you. Next time we do this, I need you.
So another big thanks to Nasty for coming up with some of those amazing questions. She has
Those
more
were
for
good
next
questions.
week. So there's some pretty good ones in there. So just a reminder, if you want to email haunted tollbooth@gmail.com with any of your deep questions, and thought-provoking, sorry, deep and thought-provoking questions, please do so that we've got, we can include them in our next interview episode.
I'm gonna send a couple over.
Yeah, see? You can now that, especially now that you've gone through the process yourself.
Yeah. I totally have questions you guys are getting. No, totally have.
Oh, for us? Well, that's a good idea too. I think Sarah and Rob requested that maybe.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so that's a good idea. We probably at some point need to have somebody put us through the torture. But we'll torture other people
You
for
should
a
have
little
like
while.
Rob and Sarah on, and they do it to you. And
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I like Mike's comment. He's thinking right. Look at that.
Mike.
I like it.
Well, yeah.
He understands things. He gets it.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't even thinking for some of those.
That was 50%.
You were incredibly fast.
That was 50%, Boston.
Wow.
50%
Thinking.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the other 50%?
I'm not sure.
it was miles away,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I still think Danny did great.
Did amazing.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of questions for you both. The most important question is, Danny,
Yeah.
could you please introduce us to that lovely gentleman sitting behind
All
you?
right, so this is Bucky Bones back here. I kind of kidnapped him from Rob. He is our unofficial Get Haunted mascot. Dude's got the cap on, the whole 9 yards. He's chilling. We got a new pose going this week. I don't know.
I can see that. He looks very
Yeah.
comfortable.
So what happened is I had to move him because I was rearranging. So like I put both feet up, and then like the one just never came back down. So
Yeah, it looks nice, and I like that he's strategically got some privacy covering that area.
my trigger objects. He's holding the K2. He's got
Yeah.
two cards next to him. He is all set up. If someone comes over, I feel so bad for my maintenance people when they walk in here.
Oh no, yeah, they're probably like, what? Actually, one of the questions I don't think we got to was, do you have any skeletons in your closet?
And
Maybe
that's a
on
no.
my
They're on her
couch.
And
chair.
the answer would be no, not in my closet, right
They're
here.
all out.
Yeah, so both Danny and Kyle will be joining us, I believe so. Yeah, they will. We already have your cards done it. For the Girls versus Boys event, which if you guys have not yet, let me put the link here. All
Well,
right.
you're putting the link. I just want to say real quick, we got all these people watching, right? And when we did our little road trip and we stopped at some places, everybody talked about how cool it was to go to these locations. Well, now's your chance to actually go and do it yourself by going to gethaunted.com, and you can see they have so many locations set up for just part of the year right now at a very affordable price, and you get to do your own investigation with the help of professionals. It's an awesome
Yeah,
thing
you're
to do.
you're the investigator. Come out with us. Have a ball.
Yeah.
Please do.
Pun
Like,
there.
he's
Pun there.
tiny.
See? Have a ball behind Danny. Aha.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Sorry about that. I'm a slow typer. Yeah, so Girls versus Boys is on April 22nd at the Old Hospital on College Hill in West Virginia. We're super, super excited about that event. There are some tickets, like very, very limited tickets, because this is a really special event that we're putting on. Get Haunted is putting on. Right now, yeah, the boys need some help.
Yeah, we
So-
need another guy on our team.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to help share the victory. Come on, people. What? Is it something I said, Danny?
No, you guys are you're gonna get it. You're gonna win. Yep.
All right. So now that we've got some links dropped, who do I want to ask questions to first? Because we definitely have questions that the both of you can answer. I think first, I would love to hear a little bit more about Whitehill. I didn't think to ask ahead of time, but if you have a link, does Whitehill will accept donations at any time, correct?
Yeah, we have. If you go right to our website, whitehillmansion.org, you can donate right from there. It's a 100% nonprofit organization, so everything that we bring in, be it through history tours, through the paranormal events we have, it goes right to the restoration and preservation of the history. of the house. So every
Yes,
little bit helps.
which we love. So how did you get involved, or I should backtrack, is that how you got into paranormal? Was it because of this location?
Yeah.
That-
So I was always interested in history, and I was always interested in the paranormal, but I didn't really take it serious past like watching the TV shows and whatnot. And I kind of stumbled upon White Hill Mansion, which is literally 5 feet from my house. I'm probably about
Oh,
2 miles away, so I really loved history. That was my main focus. And I found this house. I love the history, and I said I want to, help try to save and preserve this history. And I didn't go into it like I knew it was haunted, but I didn't go into it like, oh, I want to see a ghost. I just wanted to help save the history any way I can. So I started volunteering, went through the organization, started doing tours, helping out where I can. And I had an incredible amount of experiences, a lot more than some of the other volunteers who've been there a long time. And I didn't know why. So it kind of got me thinking, and that's what kind of spawned all this. And it kind of came to a kind of one of my profound moments when I was in the house during the day. And I was locking up. I was the only one in the house. And I went to one room and I came out, and there was a 3-year-old little boy standing there looking at me. We made eye contacts. He was real as you and me. Looked up at me, and I didn't even register at the time. I turned around and started walking away, and I spun back around, and he was there for a second and just disappeared. And that's when I was like, okay, this is real. I have to look into this. And that kind of started.
wow.
That's how I got into the paranormal, was basically through historical preservation and White Hill. So
Very nice.
Wow. That's awesome. It sounds like I hadn't heard that story before. It sounds like a very interesting location. As far as the history of the house goes, I know that's like, oh, I'm not asking you to give a whole tour because I know you do all the time. But there was a few things that I had heard because y'all did the Halloween live event
yes,
was there, correct?
correct.
That was before Chris and I came on board, but that was a live event that you can watch. I believe it's still up on Paranormally Blonde.
I believe so. And I think
That's
it's on
on
Get Haunted's YouTube, I believe.
Get
So
Haunted to YouTube as well.
Rob, correct me on that if I'm wrong.
That was an amazing night to see. And you had started by kind of giving a tour of the place and going through some history. And I have to say, Danny and you work so well together.
Oh,
It was a pleasure. I actually, as a viewer, you could give them like little challenges to do, and
Austin did too.
oh, I gave a lot. Yeah, I gave a lot. But I wanted you guys to do a double Estes method back to back with each other, and we got some pretty crazy results from that.
Freaky space on the third floor.
Oh my God. Yeah, we did. That's when Rob was outside of the room in the other room,
Yeah,
and he asked someone to touch me or touch me on my left or right shoulder, whatever he did. I felt it.
and you go like this immediately.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
So sorry, I sidetracked from that, but yeah, give us a little bit of history. One of the things that I thought was super interesting was there was some kind of a invention that we
Yeah,
use
so I'll give
every
you-
day.
There's a lot of history there. So
Yeah.
I'll give you the condensed version. So basically, the mansion's been there since around 1750. There probably was another building on the property around 1723, but we don't know exactly where that was. But the structure that's there now dates back to about 1750. The family who owned it originally was very politically and socially connected at the time. They were involved in some parts of the American Revolution. During the American Revolution, the British were there. The Hessians, who were fighting on behalf of the behalf of the British, were stationed at the house a couple times. So it's got a lot of history in the 1700s. In the 1800s, there was a couple families there who changed hands multiple times, like 10-year spans. They were there. There were a couple inventors. There was one who invented a typesetting machine up in the attic that revolutionized the typesetting industry at the time. And then later on in the 20s, it went from a private residence. They turned it into a full-scale German restaurant. And it ran as a restaurant from 1922 all the way up to 1992 or 93 when it finally shut down. But it was there during Prohibition. There's still a speakeasy in the basement.
Yes.
It just encompasses for me, and that's what brought me to the project is it encompasses the whole American history in one house. It was there before we were a country, and it's seen everything, and it kind of is like an onion of history as you go through and learn and explore. It's a really awesome location.
That's really cool. So let me ask you a kind of a personal belief question.
Okay.
Because a lot of times I go to these locations and I didn't realize how much I loved history, or that I was a history buff, or that I was so interested in buildings and and old houses, until very recently when I started getting into this field. And I walk into an old building now, and my brain immediately thinks about everything that could be there, and it could be because I've got the paranormal on my mind. But I want to know from you personally, using White Hill Mansion as an example, do you feel like you read this history, you get to learn about these notable people that lived there, and then when there are these experiences that you have during investigations or just working around the mansion, do you feel like it's those people, or are you of the belief that kind of any spirit can kind of come through?
So that's a great question, Boston.
Thanks.
So from my experience, just from being there all the time and opening up for different events, being there when other people come investigate and investigating on my own, I think that there is some spirits that kind of hang around. I think they come and go as they please, but I think there's like a core group that kind of stay. I don't know why. I don't know if they like it or whatnot. But then I think there's other times where other spirits come through, and I don't know where they're from, because a lot of times we'll be having EVP sessions or evidence that doesn't make any sense in correlation with the house. It's almost like maybe perhaps it comes with someone, or another spirit's attracted by what we're doing. I don't know how it works, but that's what I think. So I think there's a core group, and then I think people can come through, or spirits can come through and kind of pop in and be like, hey, what's going on? And then pop out, stay, who knows? So
Yeah, I'm kind of that same belief, like a portal at these different haunted locations. I just have been to a few where you're experiencing something and somebody immediately is like, "Oh, that must be John," or that must, and I'm like, "Yeah," or is this kind of just like a place where the energy is kind of vibrating on a different level, and therefore it kind of allows, like a portal, different souls from everywhere to
yeah, it's
come in and out.
it's interesting too, because from my aspect, it's almost kind of like a paranormal case study, because I'm there a lot and I hear a lot of the reports, and
Yeah.
some of the reports are similar, like some of the activity, but then every now and then, you'll get something that's totally different that somebody experiences it, and then you'll hear it again, and I'll be like, wow, that's something new. Where did that come from? So,
Right.
kind of always evolving, but kind of the same too, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's really cool that you have, you're a paranormal investigator. You go on these all these different locations and events with Get Haunted, but then you also have that other experience of being stationary at one location that, like you said, you can kind of create a case study from it. So thank you. Good answer. He told me before this, he's like, I'm really good at interviews.
Let's not say that on the live. I told you not to say that.
I mean, I'm kidding. Kyle, it's true. You're really good at interviews.
We were friends, boss.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll get you some Dunkin' Donuts. I'm really, really glad that you answered correctly on that question, because I was going to freak out if you didn't.
All right, that's fine.
Who doesn't
We're
love
friends
Dunkin'?
again.
Come on.
We're friends again. All right. Danny, do you have some questions, Chris, before we move on to asking some questions
No,
of Danny?
I'm just along for the ride.
I feel like I'm yapping my mouth off. Danny, I know very little about your paranormal story, and how you got into this world. Was it pre Get Haunted?
It was, yeah. So I've been investigating to investigate and try to get answers for roughly about like 15-ish years. But actually did grow up in a haunted house.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we would have unexplainable cold spots. There was at one point there was this smell of, I don't even know how to explain. It was not a pleasant smell, but it would, like, you could actually track it walking through the house that I grew up in. and things would get misplaced. Like you would put something down on a table, right? You'd turn around to like go do whatever, and you'd come back and it would be like somewhere completely different. You'd find it like a day later. Oh no, sorry, I lied. That was at my grandmother's house. I had two places I kind of grew up between, and they were both. Yeah, it was just like some crazy, unexplainable. So like when I was little, I'd be like, all right, yeah, that kind of happened. That's weird. Didn't really think much of it, and then like things kind of died down as I got a little bit older. And then I moved into an apartment in Slatedale. Actually, it used to be an old schoolhouse, right? And like they had history of like there was a fire, something happened, whatever. I apparently ended up in the apartment where this one gentleman died from a fire. And I would see him, like, or I didn't know it was him. I would see a figure in the hallway, right? Next to this light switch. And I'm like, did I, like, one of those, like, you only catch it out of the side of your, did I see that? Did I not? And then, like, a couple weeks later, we had some kind of electrical. I'm like, I bet you he was trying to tell me because there was something going on with the electric. Just all kinds of crazy, just like little things that would add up to me wanting to just figure out, how does this happen? How are we connected? Is this people that are these people that have just passed over, or are these dimensional like what is going on here? Because I had so many things happen to me growing up that I kind of just wanted to get more answers. So I tried to get a team together at one point, totally flopped. Like it's so hard to get your foot in the door, and then especially when you're a little bit younger, to be taken seriously. It rarely happens. So ended up at one point going out to Gettysburg a lot because I'm very drawn to Gettysburg, and I ran into Pam and Steve Berry out there, and they kind of got me connected to other people. I started doing going to their events, and one thing led to another. I ended up going to the Shanley Hotel actually, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you should check out Get Haunted," and everything else. It's been Get Haunted ever since, and I can't even, I'm just so thrilled that everything fell into place the way it did. Kind of like those synchronicities, like things like kind of plop themselves on your path the way they need to be. Yeah, that's kind of, I feel like I rambled completely.
No, I had no idea that you had been experiencing this kind of thing since you were a child.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It sounds like it kind of follows you around a little bit.
It does. So I don't know how, but I am somehow a magnet for, like, I think it's because I'm like, I want to be everybody's friend, right? So like, I'll go in, I'll be like, we'll be doing an EVP session. I'll be like, how are you? Are you like I get like real personal.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. This chick. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she's nice.
I think the first night that I really had experiences, it was at White Hill, actually, when I first started hanging out with everyone. That night, I had my equipment bag in the corner of my room, and like everything, I swear to you, everything was turned off, the whole 9 yards. I was getting ready for bed. All of a sudden, I hear something, like something's lighting up, sounds are going. I had to dig in the middle of the bag. There's no way this thing could have turned itself on. This piece of equipment's going off. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
And that was at White Hill?
That was from White Hill. Like,
yeah.
After White Hill, I've had things from after being at the orphanage in Gettysburg. I don't know why, but apparently I like collecting haunted objects for some stupid reason. I do advise, if anyone is into this, find a space that is not your home to hide these things, because I will be walking like past the kitchen, or I'll be walking past my hallway, and I'll like for a split second I'll think I'll see someone's. Bro, I live alone. There's nobody standing in my kitchen or my hallway. Yeah. And then like I don't know if you guys have the clip, but I have a clip of like someone telling me they don't care that there's someone standing in my room, because I have dolls from a seriously haunted location in my cabinet next to me. So yeah, just don't keep them in the place where you live. If you're, I
was gonna say, are you gonna mention that they're haunted dolls?
Oh yeah, they're haunted dolls. Yeah, from House of Wills.
Yeah, we have some friends in chat who are into haunted dolls, so they probably love to hear that. But yeah, they. I mean, even today, you had an experience that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, this morning. Yeah.
The knocking.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I really did not want. Like one of those mornings you don't want to get up, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, hit the snooze. The snooze goes off. I'm like, nope. Turns it off, curled up around my alarm, and I'm like, it's off, right? It's not happening. All of a sudden, there's like 3 knocks on the table right next to my head, and I'm like, okay, yep, I'm up. I'm getting up. I got this. Thank you. Whatever the heck just did that, thank you. And I was wide awake after that, because I don't even know how to explain that one. It was 3 knocks on a wooden table, like inches from my head. I'm like, okay.
It's a free alarm.
Yeah.
Paranormal wake up call.
Yeah.
I'd have been in
So-
so much trouble. I would have never made it to work. It was one of those mornings.
So I got a kind of a question going with what Mike's saying here. Do you guys believe that like anybody can be a beacon to spirits, or do you think it takes a certain type of person for that?
Honestly, I think if you're open to communicating, you become like this lantern in the middle of the darkness. And they're like, oh, this one's trying or this one can. So I'm going to go over here. And I don't think that they necessarily even have to be from the location you're standing in. I feel like the other side works completely different. So they just kind of know, hey, this person wants to communicate. So yeah, I think that's how you can become a beacon, just trying to reach out.
That's an interesting question too, because I always thought that, because like when I started at White Hill, I had a crazy amount of experiences, and I'm looking around before I got really into the paranormal. I'm like, what is going on? And then, through the years, just watching different people come through and different groups, there's always like one or two people in the group, at least, that I see, that they have a little bit more activity. So I don't know. I kind of think that like perhaps everyone's a little of a beacon, but some maybe you're just naturally a little bit brighter in a way and it draws them. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, because when we did our road trip, we both went in complete skeptics, didn't know what we were getting into. I've never used dowsing rods a day in my life before this. Boston had them, and I'm just sitting up in the room messing with them, asking questions, and it was just crazy how quickly I was getting responses and how smooth, and it's almost as if like I can just pick them up anywhere and we start getting stuff in these locations. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I take that as that's my skill.
That's very true, and I was actually going to bring that up right before you did. I am of the belief that there was something on that trip that, because we were talking to people and they're like, oh, that's crazy to get that much activity your first time ever in 4 different locations, to experience everything that we experienced. And we were very freaked out about it. But I think that there was something perhaps that knew, I don't know if we were beacons, but there was something that wanted us to have that moment, just like you described, Kyle, where you saw the child, just have that moment where you're like, yeah, there's no turning back. And we both said the same thing. There's no turning back. This isn't just like, oh, that was a cool trip. Like, this is something that we are passionate about. Like Dani said, it's something that we want to like find the answers to. I don't know if we'll ever find the answers, but what I really appreciate about both of you is that it sounds like you have to be open-minded in this field, obviously, but from just conversations I've had with you here and, privately, I feel like you both have very open minds as far as what it is that we are communicating with.
Yeah, I feel like there's not even just one answer to that, too.
Right.
It's like multiple things that we may never figure out what the heck we're actually talking to, but...
And like I know, since investigating with like Dani and Get Haunted, like the more we investigate, the more things we learn and new things happen, and we're like, wait a second, not that we thought we had it figured out, but like, okay, well maybe there's a little bit more to this, or maybe it doesn't work like that. So it's really kind of
totally changes your mind. Yeah,
it's always evolving, and if anyone says they have the answers, they don't.
I agree, and I feel like that's why I really, really like Get Haunted, because the majority of the people in the Get Haunted crew, down to the owners, of course, are very open-minded in that, and that we don't have all the answers, and that it could be X, Y, and Z, or it could be A, B, and C. And before I got into the paranormal with Chris, I had always kind of been like, because I would watch TV shows or hear different things from people that were experts in the paranormal, and it's like, this is what it is. This is a demon, this is a ghost, here's the difference, X, Y, and I'm like, because I'm not a religious person, and not that there's anything wrong with people who are religious, but part of the reason I'm not a religious person is because I really have trouble fully believing in something where somebody else is telling me all the answers.
Yes.
No, I love
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That
that
makes
totally
perfect
makes sense.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I think it's crazy that for someone who wasn't like full blown, oh my gosh, paranormal, you guys on your first little road trip, or it wasn't little, but your first road trip had more experience. If this is the same one that we were
Yeah.
talking about,
Mm-hmm.
more experiences in one road trip than most people get in their entire paranormal career.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that's what I was happy that we live streamed it all, so we didn't seem like we were just telling these stories after. Like, you can go on our YouTube channel and watch these videos and see the different things that happened. And it just shows, like, the thing was we came from a community where people would go in the woods, or they would just go to random places and try to make connections, and it was more just scaring yourself in the dark. And we did our research, and we specifically wanted to go where the history was, where activity was prior. And I think that's why we were able to hit all that stuff. And that's what I like about Get Haunted is, they have the different locations available for somebody to go and have those experiences. Even though you can't guarantee an experience, it's still going to a place that you're never going to go again. Probably. Yeah, maybe you'll come back
Right.
because you love it, but it's one of those once in a lifetime things. Like, I know I've had opportunities, like why we went to the Conjuring house. Eventually, yes, I do want to go back, but at the time it was, I'm never going to get this chance again. I have to just take this jump right now and go
Like,
for
you
it.
never know if the opportunity is there. Why not take it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love that Get Haunted has I mean, it's not just New England, and it's not just New York or New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Like, there are locations already for this year, 2023, in Indiana, Kansas,
Tennessee, I think.
Tennessee, Pennsylvania, of course, New Jersey,
North Carolina.
Connecticut,
Yes,
obviously, Massachusetts. So there are, North Carolina. How could I forget that? And West Virginia. How could I forget that?
Forget West Virginia.
Yeah, so this is what, I see a lot of our paranormal friends, and I see a lot of our friends from before we even fell into the paranormal world here right now in chat. And I think it's important for people to note that they're, we've got events all over the country. So definitely check out gethaunted.com and look at the list of events. And that's not even all the events for the year.
Yeah.
They're not even all up there yet. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
The best part too is, like, and Chris, you said this too, like, you can't guarantee an experience, but we will give you the best time that you can possibly have.
Exactly.
We will make sure that you get in there and you're the one investigating. We're in the background making sure you got everything you need to do the investigation for yourself.
Right.
And it's just like that camaraderie. Is that the word? Yeah. And
Camaraderie.
thank you. The friendships, and you become family with us. I love hearing everybody's stories and, like, getting into the nitty gritty details of what happened to them during rotation. And it's such, even if nothing would happen, it's just such a fun experience to have. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree with everything that you just said.
It's just amazing too. Like, you guys went out and had your first experience, your first like aha moment, and that's what I think. I mean, I'm sure Danny's the same way. That's what I think is the best part about Get Haunted. We get some people who come out who either are just coming out to kind of get into the paranormal, or they don't want to try to join a team because it's hard to join a team and go to somebody's places. So they come out, they're not sure. And, we kind of work with them, let them be the investigator, help them out. And they have that experience like you guys have. And we get to see it. And it's one of the best feelings, I think.
Yeah.
I'm most excited about that. I'll tell you. I had a very little taste of that at Heart Stuff Hall. Let's see. Our trip was in August, and this was on my birthday in October, like early October. So I had, I was a baby. I'm still a baby in the paranormal, but I was a baby, and I just went as a guest to Heart Stuff Hall. And there were these 3 women there, and 2 of them had never done any kind of paranormal anything, gone on any ghost hunt. And I was kind of teaching them about the dowsing rods and I had some other equipment set up, and there was a moment I remember where we felt a visible shake in that house as well, or in the hall. And the look on their faces. One of them wanted to leave. One of them was like, I'm done. And I reassured her, and she stayed. And by the end of the night, I think she thought it was really, really cool. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's not just for like the newbies or the people who want to get into it. If you're a hardcore investigator and you want to come on out. It's a great place to learn from us. We learn from you. You help other people. It's just a great environment.
It's a great way to connect with people and to network, and
Yep.
it really is just to reach out to people that you otherwise probably wouldn't talk to. I mean, because everyone comes from all over the place for these events. So,
Yep.
Hold on a second. The Queen Mary just reopened?
Oh.
what?
How about that?
That is a friend of ours, a good friend of ours who lives in California and used to actually work on the Queen Mary, right?
Wow.
If I'm not
I believe he
mistaken.
did, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, so he
That's
would know.
so exciting. Are you kidding me?
So we can't wrap up alive without looking over some evidence, and
Yes.
you two have given us quite a bit of stuff. I know that we talked for a while, so how about I play a clip and then you can kind of explain to us what's going on, and if we need to, we'll listen to it again. All right?
All
Sounds
right.
good.
So first one comes from Danny. So yeah, I cut the words and raised them a little bit the second time, so it was one part in repeat. But to me, that sounded like it's to get out.
Yeah. So the portal room is on the third floor of the Shanley. The third floor it gets pretty intense by the end of the night, and it's one of those rooms that for some reason, we rarely go in there. And on this particular event, I think I was sitting in there alone. So like we had done like our own little experiments. Everyone was kind of like all over the place, and I was getting ready to go join the rest of the group, and I set a recorder down, and I was like, all right, I'm getting out of here. And clear as day, there was no one else with me. That sounds like a gentleman's voice saying "get out" to me. I was like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is very
It
clear,
does.
very like nonchalant, like yeah, get out.
Get out. Yeah, get out. Like that. Like
It's
Yeah.
really cool.
kind of monotone. Yeah, that one gave me the chills when I heard it. Like that was very, very clear to me. Yeah, we've got chat agreeing. Before you say what you think it is when we hear these, let's see if we can get chat to say what
yeah.
they hear,
All right.
and then we'll say what we hear.
So this next one comes from Kyle. Let's give it a listen.
He's probably chilling in the seat next to Dina. What are you looking at?
Do we wanna play it one more time for everybody?
Play one more.
Yeah.
He's probably chilling in the seat next to Dina. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Here.
Yep. So that was from the Conjuring Basement. And at that time when we were recording that, we didn't feel anything. We didn't have anything going on. I just had a recorder running. And when I listened back to it, I was like, who is that? Because to me, it sounds like a little kid.
It does.
And when I thought back about what it's saying, at the time, somebody was looking at I think they had an SOS camera, and they couldn't get it to work. And they had it like this. And I think it's saying, what are you looking at, as they were trying to operate it. But that was one of the clearest EVPs I ever caught.
I hear one more word
What do
at
you
the
hear?
end of what are you looking at? I hear, what are you looking at underneath?
Could be.
I'll tell you what. I listened to this so many times, and this is the first time I heard the kid, and I thought that was so clear. I thought there was another investigator with you, and then I
No,
just
that's a
realized-
child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear that under. See if we hear the under.
He's probably chilling in the seat next to Dina. What are you looking at?
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, that one creeped me out when I listened back to it, because I had the same thing that you had, Chris. I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, I know that was none of the investigators.
Wow.
There was only, I think, 4 of us in the house at the time. And I'm like, that's right right there. So
So the Get Out that we just heard from Danny was also very clear, but it was quiet.
mhm.
So it was like, Get Out. Like just this sounds like a kid straight up like, hey guys,
Right
what are you
into
looking at?
That's the same vibe that I got when I listened to it. Like he was just hanging out with us. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So
Or under here. What are you looking at under here? Maybe that too. I don't know. I hear underneath or under. Oh, or
Ooh.
Sarah hears a name at the end. What are you looking at? And then a name.
Interesting. So definitely go
Interesting.
back and so all right, let's go to another one from Danny.
Thought I saw somebody sitting or standing in my kitchen the other night. Do you know who that was?
Did you hear it at the very end?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was, I had my House of Wills dolls. Actually, I think we were sitting on this before. I don't even know if the skeleton was sitting there yet. I had them all set up. I had the EVP, like the recorder and everything going. I was doing EVP sessions, and because I had just seen the night before someone standing in my kitchen as I walked by, and I'm like, that's not right. So let me ask these two if they're responsible for that, and because I hadn't seen anything in the house until I brought them in.
Wow.
So I think that's them telling me that they didn't care that there was someone standing in my kitchen.
Wow.
disclaimer, everyone: don't investigate in your house.
Some people are totally. We talked to Sarah, and Sarah's like, I have no problem doing that. And it sounds like Danny maybe didn't have any problem doing that, but sometimes
still do it.
regrets it maybe a
There's
little.
some nights where I'm like, why did I do that right before bed?
Yeah.
Why did I do it right before?
Can we play that one more time, please? We're getting a few requests.
That was Danny's number.
Thought I saw somebody sitting or standing in my kitchen the other night. Do you know who that was?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what we are hearing is, who cares?
That's what I hear. Yeah.
And
breathy, right? It sounds like breathy when it's saying it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
breathy and a little staticky, and that's usually what I'm used to hearing in EVPs. So that Get Out and the Child, what are you looking at? Those two were so clear.
Yeah.
And what we just played is what I'm usually used to too. I think the one part that really unnerved me, and I don't know why it unnerved me, but because I was playing, like I was trying to get answers from two dolls. Like it's like who knows what's attached to a doll. For some reason, I was expecting like a female voice.
Like, hi, I'm a little dolly.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right?
We got another one for Kyle here. All right, so I believe this is number.
We're the only ones that worry about being proper.
And I swear I had.
In my face. That one scares me.
I want to see because I believe I had the volume raised for that one. Let me see if I ended up saving that. You guys can talk about it while I look.
Yeah, so that one was another unexpected EVP. The location we were at, it's over in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Playwiki Park. There's a small, like 1700s house that they turned into a museum, really small, and it's on it used to be a farm, so it's this big park. And the people who ran it said, hey, go down this path. There's a clearing. That's where supposedly this used to be Native American land. That was like their camp or something. So we didn't really have a lot of activity, and we were just sitting out there. Again, there was only 4 of us, and we were just sitting there, and I had a recorder, and we were just talking about nonsense, not even ghost hunting. And then when I played it back, I heard that voice. It doesn't make any sense because we're out in the middle of nowhere, like not investigating a building. It's just, and I don't know. Play it again, I guess.
So I have just that segment where you got the voice, and I got the volume up on it. So. I swear it says I see dead people.
And I was like, no, that's someone whispering. That's a live. And you're like, no. I'm like,
To me, it sounds like two different spirits.
Yeah.
Or when
Yeah.
the first one to me sounds like maybe like a child or a girl, and to me it sounds like it almost has, or she almost has like a southern twang a little bit. And I think it says something about it's cold out here, something like that. And then another voice comes through, like Chris said, and says, "I see dead people." And I'm like, "What's okay?" But again,
Yeah.
we weren't even we weren't even trying to investigate. It just happened. So I don't know. That one is creepy though.
And it's another one where it feels like, so the Get Out sounded like it was close to the mic, but a little distance. This sounds like someone's right in the recorder whispering.
whispering, yeah.
Yeah, like that close.
I never thought about it before, and I played these EVPs for another investigator, and they're like, "Why do they always sound so close to you when you have?" Because I'm holding the recorder all the time, and I never put it together. And she's like, "A lot of them sound like kids. Maybe kids are drawn to you." So I don't know, but a lot of the EVPs that are like, they're just always. I don't get a lot of them, but when I do, it's like they're right there. So I don't know.
So we got another one from Danny.
Joseph.
Yes. What was that? That was not creepy at all.
Danny, where did you hear that?
Where did I hear that from? The third floor.
So now that was two different ones, wasn't it?
So there's two. I believe there's two EVPs in this one. So we were at, actually Kyle was there and Rob. We were sitting on the second floor at Selma Mansion, and I was out in the hallway. They were in one of the rooms. I was so desperately trying to get like video of my pinwheel going. It didn't go. But so the first part you hear like it almost sounds like a sniffle, and then you hear a hey, and then after that you hear like a sound like a voice that's very watery. I don't know. Did you guys pick up on what it might sound like at all?
It sounded like it was underwater.
Right? Yeah.
To me, it was like.
To me,
but I didn't catch the words. What are you hearing in that?
So we kind of like all talked back and forth about this. We definitely all hear the word remember. So it's either I remember or I don't remember. So it's something along those lines. It was
Can we play it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yes. What was that? That was not creepy at all.
Danny, where did you hear that?
Where did I hear that from? The third floor.
I heard it say, "I remember you guys."
It's what we thought.
One of the first times I was like, it kind of almost sounds like that. One of the first times, and you know, like after you listen to it for so many times, you start, yeah. But remember's always like very clear for me in that one.
What was really cool about that one is we all heard it. That's a disembodied voice. Not even
Yeah, like,
right, because you acknowledge it immediately. That's not creepy.
Yeah, that's not creepy because I'm like the one sitting out in the hallway, and it's like I'm right at the stairwell to the third floor, and that's where we're hearing it from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember you both.
Oh. Moody Mary says she hears singing, like he's singing.
It's like sing-songy, like it's in what? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a fun night.
Yeah, that was. That was cool that we all heard it because we all reacted.
Yeah.
What is that?
So now we got this one from Kyle.
If you're down here with us, can you please tell me your name? That's Christina.
Yep, tag her for sure.
Hold on one sec. I'm going to play.
Tag her for sure.
Oh, I don't know. I guess the audio didn't go on it.
It didn't play that time.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. It's the audio's messing up on it, but let me see if I can play the other one again.
If you're down here with us, can you please tell me your name? That's Christina.
Yep, tag her for sure.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That was another disembodied voice we caught because we
It
were in
was
the basement.
Because you all heard it.
so
Yeah.
clear. It was so clear. I literally thought it was one of the people that were with us that night. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
and
it's
we
not
all,
her.
everyone in the room reacted to it, said, "Oh yeah," and then we were in the basement, and the other group was up in the attic, right? So it's a big house, but if somebody yelled, they would have heard, and they came down, and I said, "Well, who yelled up there?" And they were like, "No one." I'm like, "No one made a noise up there," and that's when we're like, "Oh my god, that was a
Like,
clear
yeah.
disembodied voice."
It was it was clearly
Like,
yelling too. Yeah.
The recording really didn't do it justice, right,
It was
Danny?
so
Like
loud.
when we were there, I was like, "What's going on?"
I was like, okay, did this person come down onto like the main floor and they were just, doing their thing? And I'm like,
Yep.
okay.
Wow.
So
All right, let's see, what else do we have? I actually got a picture to show. I saw it right away. I'll
Did
just
you?
say that. So I'm going to put
Same.
it up, and we can still talk over it. It's just going to go over all of us.
Oh yes.
one of my favorite guests of all time. She's one of our repeat guests. She's phenomenal. So I had somehow talked her into going. So I have a thing for tubs. I love tubs, right? Anytime I get a chance, I will crawl into one. And so I somehow talked her into like climbing into the one in the bloody bathroom with me. And we didn't get anything in our EVP sessions, but I wanted to do a selfie just to kind of commemorate the moment, kind of a thing. Do you guys see what's going on behind us there? That's in the door frame. Kyle had just left. There should be nothing blocking the doorway, like at all. So you can see
You can almost see a pair of legs.
Yeah, it's a set of legs, and
Yeah.
you're looking right between them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went back through photos after that because I have a bunch of pictures of that whole area, and the wall's it's very light. There's nothing that would make it that dark, and you can see a part of the wall behind, like
Yeah,
legs or an arm or something.
yeah. Because if that was me or another person standing there, you would have seen like my jeans or whatever.
Yeah,
You could see the color of the wall behind it. So I don't.
Mm-hmm.
you
It's
had literally.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Dan.
No, go ahead.
No, it's interesting because that's a common claim in that area that there's a shadow person or an entity that kind of watches people from that area. So it's kind of cool that you actually caught it.
Oh, that's creepy.
Great. I didn't even see it. Crystal messaged me the next day. She's like, "Did you see what was in that picture?" I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, she blamed me, didn't she? She said, "Was
Yeah,
that Carl standing there?"
You had literally just been in there like a couple of minutes before, and then we started getting giggly, and you're like, "All right, ladies," and you walked out.
I remember that. I was like, "I'm out."
That is a very Danny is known as the bathtub
Yes.
girl. So
Bathtubs.
any haunted location, she will find the bathtub and
Find
she
me
will
in
be
the
in the
tub.
bathtub.
You can't find me. I'm in the tub.
Yeah.
So we got another one from Kyle here. Let's give it a listen. I mean, to me, it sounds like there's like a party or something going on, or Boston's moving, something.
That one, I threw a recorder at the top of the second floor at White Hill, and I left it there overnight. And I think it recorded for 12 hours, and that was the only thing that I caught on there. And if anyone's been to White Hill, like Danny, what did that sound like?
It sounds like someone walking around and moving stuff around.
Right up the main steps, they make that squeak, and it sounds like somebody closes the door. And I know there was no one there. Like that is clearly somebody walking. And that was a tough recording to get through 12 hours. I think it was like 6.5 hours in. So that was
man.
a long review process, but it was worth it because I was like, oh my God, who's walking around?
Yeah.
That was a cool.
No, it's not. And the again, the Halloween live, the Get Haunted Halloween live at White Hill.
Oh.
I witnessed as you guys were there, and just as a viewer, could hear, something got thrown, and you could hear the sound. It sounded like a door opening, all sorts of noises, footsteps.
That place is no joke.
Yeah.
It was really cool on the live that you guys heard and experienced a lot of stuff that we didn't even hear or see at the time, which was really cool.
Oh, interesting.
Nice. So I got one more video, and I will say I have not watched this yet. So this is going to be my first watch. I can't wait to see.
We'll carry it down. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break here.
You can find her.
Yeah. You want to play that one again,
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
We'll carry it down. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break here.
You can find her.
Bro, you know what I think that you're
It gave me such bad chills.
Yeah.
taking
So-
forever because you just said taking a break.
That was the Conjuring house again. That was the second floor, and that was a motion activated DVR camera that picked up that EVP, which we didn't hear it at the time, but that is like the clearest EVP I've ever. It's insane. And when I reviewed it, I was like, "What is that?" And that is right before we went down into the basement and caught that other EVP. To give you context, to me, it sounds like it could be maybe the same.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what blew my mind is how clear it was. It's like somebody standing right next to that microphone and just talking. So
Wait,
You
we're
know-
hearing two. Hold on. Are we hearing? What did you hear in that?
If you can find her.
Oh, I heard take a fiver because he was saying taking a break.
Wait, that.
Because
on.
I thought it was
Hold-
you can find her, and then it went with the other one with what are you looking for?
Okay, I thought the you can find her or can you find her was one of the investigators.
no,
Oh no,
Because what I heard was
Howard.
before that, it was right after somebody says something, and it sounded like right into the camera. It was
I do think there's two voices. So I come into the camera and I say something like, "Let's take a break," and as I'm finishing that sentence, there's something real tiny right there. I think, and then comes the big voice.
Let's give it a listen one more time.
We'll carry it down. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break here.
You can find her.
so. It was right after someone says we'll carry it down, and then it's like, but I hear like, oh man.
Yeah, no, I thought I heard that when we just gave it the re-listen too.
And
Yeah.
then the clear as day, you can find her.
Yeah, that one freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because it's just I'm like I'm used to EVPs like we normally catch right on the lower level. That's quite
Mm-hmm.
breathy, and that's like I'm like how did no one hear that? Like I don't understand the clarity of that.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Wow, there's somebody investigating with them with a very high pitched voice." I was like, "I wonder who that is."
Yeah.
Wow.
What's really cool is that camera is motion activated. So if anyone walked into that room like beforehand and stood behind the camera, it would have recorded them. So we were all in that middle bedroom.
That's like the same child's voice as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like following you guys around.
Yeah.
It does. I was looking over at the side chat
Yeah.
here, and Julie was saying about how the child's voice is Selma. It's almost like that. It sounds like a kid's voice because we had a kid's voice that was disembodied at Selma too.
Yeah. That's one of my best. I don't even know what you call it. I guess it's an EVP, but it was caught through a motion activated DVR camera, not even a recorder. And just, again, we weren't even investigating. We were actually going to take a break. So I don't know. There you go. There you have it. I don't have any words for it beyond.
Yeah.
And I every time I listen to it, I hear something else. I can't quite make it out. It's for how clear it is. I can't make out what it says.
Well,
Isn't it crazy how you can get
that's
like
a Conjuring House thing for
Yeah.
sure, in my opinion.
Yeah. So
that place, man. But
crazy.
it seems like the best evidence always comes when you aren't looking for it.
Yep.
When you're off doing your own thing or having a conversation with one of your friends because you don't think you're getting anything, and then all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, me and you, Danny, that most of the times when we're investigating,
Oh,
when we're cleaning up or when we're trying to move location, that's when something happens.
yeah, every freaking time, every time.
Yeah, when you're not, that's another good reason to have static cams and things set up at these locations, even when you're just not doing anything. So I, started filming pretty much as soon as we started these investigations. I slowly upgraded my camera and would just bring it around with me and like, okay, now I'm in this room, now I'm in that room. And I finally was like, no, I'm just going to leave it up. Where's the place that you get the most activity? I was at the Emery Estate in Weymouth with Joe a few weeks ago, and it was my first time there. And I just asked, where's the place that you get the most kind of activity? And they said right down this hall on the third. We were up there investigating. I set it up. I put on the infrared, and we left. I think I have caught something, but again, it's out when you do those static cam, it's hours and hours.
Yeah.
I think I have caught something, but I can't debunk that it may have been me. So you see
You just see Boston
ahead.
come up from the.
Well, it's a long hallway. It's a long hallway. Hold on. It's a long hallway, and we had a REM pod in there, and we were still upstairs at that point. We're all the way down the hallway in a different room. But then you see from a side door, like somebody's head kind of pop out a little bit and then go back, and then it does it again. But it holds for an amazingly long period of time. Now, I remember when I was there that the REM pod was going off, and I had gone to a side room because there's like a little doorway closet thing that connects them. And I remember looking out at the REM pod and then going back in. But I don't remember just like tilting my head out and freezing for like 10 minutes.
That's weird.
That is.
So, yeah. But that's why I haven't like said anything about it, because it could be me, because I was like, oh yeah, I looked out the door, right? That's just me. And then I kept watching and I'm like, I don't look out the door that long. So, and they said that's one of the common things they get there is like you see things come out those doorways. And it's just like a little like, look, it was just like that and then back in. And then that for like 10 minutes and then back in.
Wild though. But
Yeah,
you would
sure.
know if you were standing there for that long. Like you would
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm going to type this out real quick. But
So-
Moody Mary. I'm going to say if anyone in chat has any evidence of their own experiences that maybe you, like Moody Mary just said, it sounds like kind of someone humming. She saved audio when she was sleeping. And she hears some humming. She's not sure. She wants someone to look at it. Absolutely, guys. If you guys have anything like that, we've got a whole crew. We may be new to this world, Chris and I, but we've got a whole crew at Get Haunted with years and years of experience who can absolutely look at them. Just send an email with your evidence to hauntedtollbooth@gmail.com.
Oh. So tonight's been great. It's been fun. But before we wrap, I got one final question. When you are investigating with a partner and your partner is in a said position where they can't really run and you see something, do you ditch said partner on the ground and save yourself?
And answer honestly.
I've thought about this. I had a situation like that, and my conscience got the better of me, and I stuck it out, and I got the person to come with me. But I thought about running.
Oh, so you didn't run. You waited.
I
Okay.
waited, but I wanted to run.
No, I've never. When things get that like, 'cause we all get scared, and we all have had some intense experiences. But like when I get that scared, I freeze. Like I just call it. I get so scared, I get stupid, and I just stand there.
Okay, but can't we agree that everyone's got their own flight, freeze,
Yeah,
or
left
what's
me
the other one? Or
you left me-
fight.
Yeah.
You left me in a crawl space.
Oh, I had a feeling that's where this was going.
At the Conjuring house.
Oh
So
my God.
we're on the second floor behind the chimney, right? And I'm sitting on the ground, and we think that we're talking to Oliver. And she says, I feel him holding my hand. And I said, oh, Oliver, can you stand behind me? And she goes, I don't feel him holding my hand anymore. And I said, Boston, just start snapping pictures real quick. Just start snapping pictures.
You forgot the part where I said, I don't feel him holding my hand anymore. And then I say, ow, 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 because I felt like someone was taking a needle and piercing it through my thumb.
And then So she starts taking pictures, takes 2, screams bloody murder, drops the phone, and runs. So to me, the only thing that I'm thinking is there is definitely something standing behind me. I'm not the smallest guy. I'm sitting Indian style in a very cramped position, so I can hardly even move quick. It's pitch black because, thank you, Boston, she took the light.
Oh my god.
Okay, so in my defense, I couldn't even talk about what had happened until like we were out of Rhode Island.
Oh.
That's how scared I was.
Oh my God.
In my defense, Chris, this is
I was just
even
happy it was
reenacting
live.
it is terrifying.
I'm happy it was live so everybody can see.
Let me see. And you're gonna yell at me because I'm gonna mess up my camera, but it was like, okay, so imagine it's pitch black, and every time a flash goes off is the only time you can see, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just taking flash, and it was the third flash, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, like, that's how close it was, and it came down from the ceiling. Except it was a black, like, mass in the shape of a head.
In front of the camera?
Or in front of your face.
Well, I'm holding my phone like this close to me.
Like in front of the
Right?
camera. So it was
So
literally
that close, and I'm looking at my camera, and the flash freezes for a little bit before it takes a picture, right? So it was in that moment where the flash goes and it lights up before it clicks and takes a picture that it went like that. And it was fast too. It was like,
I would have screamed. Oh my God.
and then run.
Definitely scream. I don't know. Kyle, I've seen a face pop up by you like how many times now? Have I? I don't. I like scream, but I don't think I've run yet.
Listen, Danny does scream.
Boston, I'd have ran with you that time. I'd have ran with you.
Danny does scream.
Thank you.
And frightens me more than the thing that makes her scream. But I'm getting used to it slowly. It's so shocking. But I can say I will never run and leave you, Danny, unless it's on April 22nd, and then you're on your own.
Nice.
Thanks,
Other
bro.
than that, I got your back. But April 22nd, it's every man for themselves. Or
Well,
woman.
I'm gonna remember that come April 22nd.
I'm still waiting for my payback. Apparently it's
Whoa.
coming. So
It's coming.
I mean-
It's definitely coming.
yeah, it's
But-
okay. We'll have each other's back on April 22nd. Danny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got you. We're not
Danny. I didn't say Chris. Danny
Okay.
and I.
Don't worry.
I got you.
We'll run together. That's the thing. You could have stood up. I screamed and said, "Oh my God," and started the running process. I figured you were going to be like right behind
That
me.
was your cue. Let's get up and.
And instead, and we have this all on video, instead, you hear him. I think he's cursing, but
was like
he
the-
still
it was
has
like
his
the
camera. It's
dad-
just pitch black.
It was like the Dad on a Christmas Story where it was just a bunch of mumbled sounds that were all different
Yeah.
swear words.
Yeah, like he was so angry he couldn't even get the words out.
But all right.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you both for taking the time and
No
sharing
problem.
some
Yes.
amazing evidence with us. And I'm so excited to be able to investigate with you both soon. Hopefully.
We have to investigate with you guys, and thank you for having us on. This was so fun.
Of
Yeah.
course, we hope you come back. We hope we're not. I mean, the rapid fire wasn't that bad.
No, it was actually kind of fun.
No,
Yeah,
Fun stress.
the rapid
It's-
fire was great. I won. It's great.
Whatever.
I didn't even have to cheat.
I know.
all right. Again, everybody, remember if you would like to.
I at least made the sound. All right, bro.
I still won without
That's
making
true.
this.
She should have gotten bonus points for making the sound.
Okay, we can get 1 point.
Remember, if you guys, meaning everybody watching this and our great participants in chat here, if you guys are interested in perhaps doing some investigations with these two, or Chris and I, or Sarah and Rob, or any of the amazing Get Haunted crew members, go to www.gethaunted.com. You'll see right when you get there, there's a link that'll bring you straight to the events page, and it's going to show you all of the amazing locations. I can't even say all because they're not all available yet for the 2023 year, but definitely check it out. again, these events are not all in one state. They are spread out. Some are down south, some are more up north, East Coast, Midwest. We don't have anything on the West Coast yet, but someone needs to let Rob know that the Queen Mary's open again, apparently. So who knows? I don't know.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody watching. We'd like your support. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Go visit Get Haunted on YouTube and Paranormally Blonde on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Wow. Okay. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Everybody have a good night. We'll see ya.
See you guys.
Thank you. Get haunted. Stay haunted.